Thank you so much. Okay, so let's start. As you see on my slides, my name is Paula. What I do for a living, it's a highly technical thing. I'm a penetration tester, and I'm also the owner of the company that you see. We've got 3 locations. One is in New York, another Dubai, another in Warsaw. And I've been always interested in security, and I think that there's a lot of very important things to talk about, especially to talk about all the different situations that happen in the infrastructure that should be seen really from the hacker's perspective to understand what are the problems in security. Regarding my background, well, I got access to the source code of Windows, and that's something that Microsoft gave me some time ago in order to do plenty of research in security. So today I have a pleasure to talk about all these interesting situations that we can be dealing with whenever we are administering our infrastructure. A couple of words regarding my background for speaking. Last year I've been rated a #1 speaker on Microsoft Ignite. It's supposed to be the biggest conference in the world from the IT perspective, and that proves really one point, not that I'm a good speaker, because you're gonna tell me, but it really means that security is an interesting subject, and there is more and more interest growing in security, which makes me very happy, because as I already said, it's kind of important. So agenda for our presentation for today is going to be quite simple. We're going to be talking about different users' ideas. So what does it mean to be aware within the enterprise and to be security aware and so on. We're going to talk about access control and of course security awareness idea in general, and then we're going to move to the summary. The presentation is very linear, so I will be talking about, as I mentioned, different situations that cover what we are mentioning in the agenda, where we definitely should pay attention to. Before we really jump into the whole subject, what is quite important to tell you is a little story. Before we get there, let me tell you the story. The story is that in our company we do sometimes social engineering tests. And for the unknown reason, I'm the person doing this. I don't wear black clothes when I'm doing this, because that kind of fills into the stereotype of being evil. I just wear a very nice clothes with like a flower shirt or something like that to look girly. That's an ugly stereotype that I really love to use because it works. You will never say that a blonde woman could be dangerous, but unfortunately the truth is a little bit different. So what is happening within the story that I'm going to tell you is that we've got a customer, and this particular customer ordered a social engineering test, and our goal was to get inside and eventually steal some data from someone's computers. Yeah? So to prove the point, yes, that was the case. So we were wondering how we're going to do that, and the idea was very simple. Let me paint the picture. So basically, this customer, it's placed on the 3 floors, 6, 7, and 8. And when I'm getting to in front of the building, I see that this customer is on the floor 6, but I know it's also on a 7 and 8. Obviously, the floor 6 is the one that I don't want to get to, because if they are advertising the floor 6, probably there is someone sitting there welcoming all the guests, and I really don't want to be there. So to enter that customer premises, there was this like opening door, and in order to get there, you got 3 options. 1, to use your card and do pick and enter. 2nd, to use the PIN and enter. And 3rd, to call the reception when there is this camera facing you, which is definitely not the option. So I don't have none of these. So what I did, and this is quite normal, we do it every day, yes, but I just want to raise attention to that kind of situation. I did something that is oh, I'm kind of breaking. Yeah, okay. Something that is called tailgating. Yeah? So what is that whenever, well, there was actually, oh my gosh, I think I might need a different mic or something. No? Yeah, here we go, okay. Yeah, I need one, definitely. Okay, Yes, now I know I got two mics, like one in this pocket, another one here. Okay, good. So finishing up the story. Yes, there was this very nice guy. So what I did, I just stick to his back, and then I entered behind the guy. Yes, so normal. Yes, but that shows that I'm able to get into the elevator area, and elevators were like this: elevator A and B. And this was this weird type of elevator where you need to type the floor on the pin, on the pad, and then, of course, it shows you if it's elevator A or B. So what I did, I was waiting for someone to press floor 7 or 8, yes, in order to get with this somebody to that floor. Now, waiting time is very strange because what am I doing over here? So I use this female stereotype where technically we always have a big bags with they're pretty much bottomless, yes? And so I was like standing over there and I was like, ooh, where is my card? Where are my keys? Where's my phone? And that kind of stuff. So nobody really paid attention to me because I look kind of normal. And when one of the guys pressed floor 7 or 8 effectively and the door opened, I jumped immediately to the back side of the elevator. And the question to you is, why did I do that? Why did I jump to the back? Shout out. Because there is a camera. Yes, could be an option. Yes, it wasn't my reason particularly, but it could be that I want to hide behind him. Could be. Another options.
You are behind everybody else.
Because I'm going to be behind everybody else. That's a very good point. Yes, it's a very good point. Because you know what happened? Is that when we get to the floor number 7 and the door opened, yes, this guy comes out first. He uses his card, and then he does pick, and then he opens the door, and what does he say? Ladies first. Not to mention the fact that I really had a nice chat with this guy, like, hey, how are you, and that kind of stuff. To become more friendly, and he doesn't really feel that I'm like someone dangerous over here, and we are kind of like having this. I got a husband, by the way, so don't get me wrong, but still, that's just my job. So when I get there, yes, I was like, okay, perfect, check, yes, let's look around. And finishing up the story, what I decided to do, I went to the traders area, because this was the company from the finance industry, and there were like these rows of desks where there were no traders and they were not locking their computers, which actually was my favorite part over here, because when the traders finished like doing a big deal, they all like, okay guys, let's go for lunch, ding, and then they went out for lunch, everybody stands up, and then these lunches are quite famous. I've been on one of them and I don't want to be back. They last like 2 hours, so I knew that basically I've got a lot of time for myself to do something. So I started to copy data. But then nobody was really paying attention to me. I'm sitting on someone's desk, I don't look like this person, yes, and nobody really tells me that I'm doing something wrong. And that's the human nature, because we are afraid to ask people if we're not sure, like, who they are. Hey, listen, I've been working here for the past 2 years, and it's the first time I see you, and it doesn't mean that we have to be suspicious. Maybe we want to be friendly, like, oh, you look new. Maybe, like, who are you? Who's your manager? And so on. It will be great to stay in touch. So that kind of little artificial conversation helps to find out who this person is. But we don't do it because we, by default, assume that if I'm sitting on this desk being confident, I'm just doing my job, and it's better not to disturb someone, yes? So what I did, I decided to be rude. And I decided to yaw very like loudly, like, and then basically I was like stretching and that kind of stuff. So that when people were walking, they were like, what the hell is she doing? Yes, but still nobody asked me, who are you? So what am I supposed to do in this seat? Dance or something? Nobody knows. And nobody really paid attention. So here comes the summary. So we've got awareness. So awareness is the situation, the process of becoming aware about what kind of dangerous situation we can see. So nobody expects female in general. Nothing really behind that, yes? It's just a stereotype. Nobody expects female to be dangerous. It's rather men, usually wearing like hoodie or something. So that's an ugly stereotype that is absolutely not real. So everybody simply in the companies needs to realize that danger can look a little bit differently. Then we've got a behavior. And behavior clearly comes from awareness. We are aware that this situation can happen, so I ask, who are you? I've never seen you before. Yeah, so this is the activity. Now, the more situations we face, the more experience we've got with an awareness, then better we're going to behave. That's quite clear dependency. And of course, at the end, we build the culture or security culture in the organization, which is something that I always say, of course, it should be in our head because we understand the principle, but it should be more in our heart. Yes, I go to the restroom and I'm not here for 2 minutes. The first thing I do, it's Windows L to lock my desktop. Yes, it's the first thing. I mean, while I'm standing here, I already feel not very comfortable what's happening with my laptop. Is there someone like doing something around it? So I prefer to be here. Yes, so that kind of situation. Little analogy, of course, that awareness always comes with experience. So the more we see, the more we know. And of course, when we see and we practice a lot, then we are aware that that situation can cause some damage, danger, and so on. At the very end, culture of the organization is very important within security subjects because statistically, as you see, 14.4 incidents per year are caused by employees regarding the data loss and that kind of things. Bringing a little bit more statistic to the field, because these are very nicely working in security, we've got, and I would recommend to have a look at the 87% statistic. Let me enlarge it for you a little bit. So we've got here 87% of the big companies, they claim that they didn't have the security awareness education program in place within the security policy. Wow. Yes, and now we shouldn't be surprised when the LinkedIn is getting hacked or Sony or whatever. I'm absolutely not surprised. Yes, it's not because someone is smart out there, it's because we make mistakes. And that's also my job to get into systems, and I see how it looks like from the inside, and it's really a matter of misconfiguration. I'm always saying one thing, that the biggest vulnerability in the enterprise, it's misconfiguration. Yes, not really hacking into systems, finding out these bits and bytes and so on, absolutely not. Yes, the first thing I see when I get into the infrastructure is like, oh my God, things are misconfigured again and again in the same way and so on. That's why today we're going to talk about 7 situations where things are not okay. One of the things is that sometimes we notice during the penetration test that people are using pathetic passwords. Bringing a little more stories to the field, when I was delivering a social, like security awareness, like a workshop for managers, I displayed that picture over here as a welcome picture, and one of the managers came in and he's like, oh my God. I'm like, what? How did you manage to get my password? I just did right now. So this is what we are dealing with. But effectively, that might sound like a cliche, but not really, because that also refers back to administrators, where we are, especially in administrative accounts, reusing passwords. So we have them similar in plenty of places. In a pen test, that comes out very often. So I want to show you, within my demonstration, and my presentation is technical, how to grab the passwords from the certain situations in the operating system that come clearly from the misconfiguration. One of the things, here we go, I got here a machine, so let's dig in. I got here different services. One of the services is running on the account. Yes, I got some account over here. So whenever we've got a situation like this, then question is, can we grab the password? Well, of course, depends who you are, but I'm not saying that we are protecting against hackers here. We are protecting against the other people. So in general, to assure the privacy and security within the organization, why we should allow other people to see our passwords? Absolutely not. And they are literally everywhere. In operating system, there are over 20 places where you can get the password from, and I'm not meaning here a hash, or actually we should technically say anti-hash, which is effectively what is also stored on the disk. So actually, what I will do I will get into my tools, and I want to show you how clearly is to see the password, we can see the password of the service accounts. And what I'm doing, SID, psexec. Psexec is one of the sysinternals tools, and I'm launching it as a local system because that's the place it's needed to get access to the registry where the password is stored. So simply speaking, right now I will also go to my tools. So once again, I need to go to through all the folders. Let me do it, desktop, and then we've got tools. And then I got a tool written by our developer, Michael. You will never see him publicly speaking because he's afraid to speak. Basically, PJ service, that's my service name. And of course, as you see over here, let me enlarge the place, we've got the password being clearly in a clear text. Here we go. Yes, in a clear text from the registry. But that's what I'm saying. Password being stored as a hash, it's only in one place, either in the SAM database or ntds.dit, and that's it. But anything else, it's either stored using data protection API or stored like that. So we are able to get access to it very quickly. Another option that we've got, and let me show you. For example, yes, in IT, I got a web server here. And that web server is running a couple of application pools, couple of websites. So these application pools, so the processes handling responses for users, can be running with a different identity. Yes, for example, this one, so in our case, this is up1, it's running as Freddy Krueger, yes? So question is, can I grab the password from that particular application pool? Absolutely. And what is beautiful, you do it with the built-in Windows tools, yes? So we can get there to Windows, System32, iNet SRV, and there is a tool that I really think it was brought from hell to earth because the friendliness of this tool is below 0, appcmd, and I will specify list, app pool, setting, app1, and then export this to text, and then I want to have all details. Logic is a little bit messed up. I think it's, there are better ways to do it, but that tool gives us the answer straight away, so that's why I'm going to do it. So effectively, what we have over here, and as you see, I got my password here again being in a clear text. Bang, bang, bang. We could do it for a whole day. Yes? Question? So here comes the question, can you do it without the admin? Let me tell you this, this particular operation, no, yes, but there are also a couple of other places that yes. Yes, for example, if I've got the offline access to the registry hives of the system and security, then from that place you can extract a lot of things. Yes, including hashes, because this is where all the information is spread across. Yes, you could be saying, of course, nah, that doesn't count because it's like an admin. Yes, no, it actually counts because it's the internal security of our organization, and that's my point. Yes, if we were talking hacking, I would not be starting from this. I would start from the network. There is an attack. It's called SMB Relay, or we should say SMB Relay X, which is a second version of SMB Relay, which is theoretically patched by Microsoft in 2008. Right now, this is how I get into the customer's infrastructure. What is the success rate? 100%. Why? Because nobody disables NetBIOS. Yes? Nobody disables NTLM version 2. Yes? If you got them using, I'm getting in. Yes? That's the point. SMB Relay X. Check out. Okay, but long story short, what else? Peeping room. Yes? So all the situations when users are not locking their desktops, and then it sounds like a cliche, but not really, because this is how I managed to steal the data of the traders. Yes, so nobody said that this is my friend. I don't know that really. Maybe this person looks friendly, is friendly, but has a very bad intentions. So this is a good habit, and it's not really against users. It's for security, for that culture. Let me tell you one little story. I was doing the pen test, and I was sitting with the administrator having this like beginner's chat, like, hey, tell me a little bit more about your infrastructure and so on. And we were sitting there for like 2 hours, and he was like quite tired after that, and then he stood up and he's like, do you want to have a cup of coffee or something? I'm like, hell I do, because you're gonna go and I'm gonna stay. Yes, that's definitely a reason why I want to have coffee. So he stood up, he went out, and he didn't lock his desktop. So obviously I came, I made a memory dump, and I extracted from his memory of the operating system the password, which I will show you in a moment how to do that, right? But effectively, I was wondering, okay, this guy is aware of insecurity, and is definitely aware of me. Why he didn't lock his desktop? So when he came, my question was, why did you do that? I mean, did you know that, of course, when you're going to leave, I'm going to touch your laptop. That's my job. That's the first thing I'm going to do. And he's like, you know, yeah, it's a good question that you were asking, because I didn't want you to feel that I have something to hide in front of you. Psycho think. Yes? And I'm like, yes, Ben, but I'm supposed to get access to your infrastructure, and I'm already in without really touching your infrastructure. Yes? So this is quite interesting, because when we are in a meeting in an open space, we leave our laptops not locked because we don't want to hurt someone's feelings that we are hiding something. We are like openly showing things to everybody. It's a human nature. I've noticed that many times after that situation, and that's the point. So why don't we, for example, lock the desktop? Yes, because why don't we do it? Because it's going to be like a little statement that, hey, see, I'm locking a desktop in front of you so that you don't touch what I got inside, okay? Not that I don't trust you, but see, I mean, I'm just going to lock it, yes? So this is this little thing. So people need to know that locking desktop doesn't hurt, and it's really for comfort of everybody that the data is secure, and it's for their also personal security, because nobody likes to have stuff posted on Facebook later on, right? Anyway, so let's dig in. So one of the things that I want to show you as well is obviously whenever we are talking about getting access to someone's computer, what can happen if you don't lock the desktops? Where many things, depends really who you are, yes? If you are a user, then what I would do, I would definitely steal the user's profile. So one of the things that is over there, it's, of course, profile is protected with the data protection API, the way how we encrypt things, but when I'm in the context of the user, I'm able to get access to the secrets profiles data. And don't get me wrong, it's not a time and place for that, but we did quite a huge research within the data protection API, and effectively we broke part of it regarding what is floating in the memory of the operating system, which we can extract and then get access to people's secrets and that kind of stuff. But in general, what is very important is that not to allow someone to get into the context of our current session. Yes? Why? Because our password hash is one of the factors, one of the components that is used to encrypt whatever we've got in our profile. So when you've got a password to Facebook, for example, and you store it in a browser, that is stored with the data protection API. As long as you don't share your session, your password with someone, then it's okay. That's what we've been working on. We made a couple of discoveries, but in general, it's okay. Yes, the percentage and chance that things going to happen are quite low. Okay, so what's the point? What I have over here, it's the Mimikatz, but a quite special edition, because we do a lot of work within the security fields. This is the secure edition of the Mimikatz. It has plenty of additional features on board, plus it's not discovered by antivirus, because who knows the software that I have generated yesterday? Yes, nobody does. So if you're going to be in the need of that, I'm happy to share it, only for the good purpose, of course. So what's the Mimikatz? Mimikatz is a tool. Let me get the privilege first. That we can use in order to get access to the secrets of the local security authority subsystem. One of those secrets, of course, it's not stored in a clear text, but as long as the keys to decrypt that are in the memory, we are grabbing the keys and we are running them against the secrets, and effectively, and that works for everybody, yes, running a Windows operating system. Don't get me wrong, I like Windows, but we just need to be about all the pros and cons, yes? It's like the love of a lifetime. You have all the negative situations that you have to accept. Yes, so this is pretty much the same story. CQURE LSA, logon passwords. And what it gives me is this like a little output over here. And effectively, I'm able to see for everybody's users, everybody that is logged on, I'm able to see this password. Now, here comes the thing. I'm showing you administrator with a reason, yes? Because if someone is working in a help desk, if you log on remotely to someone's computer, yes, even though you log off, the problem is right now that you leave your credentials behind. So imagine the beautiful situation, or I would say my favorite, when within the organization, workstations are managed with the domain admin account. Yay, we are logging on to the danger zone with the most privileged account in the infrastructure. It could not go worse. Yes, it couldn't. So that's why we promote the idea of something that we call scoping, which makes workstation admin to log on to the workstation. And workstation admin is just a domain user being a local administrator of the certain machines, on the certain machines. You leave your credential behind, and that's exactly coming directly from the memory. And regardless if we do it live or we do the memory dump, we're always getting those credentials. Okay, guys, now cool stuff. Yes? USB stick-up. That's my favorite, because this is related with something that I've got in my pocket. It's not the mic, no. It's just this. It's coming. It's just this. And this is what? We think so. Yes, it's supposed to be a USB stick. Looks like a USB stick. Smells like a USB stick. It must be a USB stick. Let me open it. Yes, this is actually a keyboard. Yes, this is actually a keyboard. I call it nicely a rubber quack because it's called a rubber ducky. And this is something that, and I'm not advertising it, but again, you can buy it for, I think, $39, and they ship worldwide. And what is lovely is just that this little thing, I know it's from the far away, but there's like a mini micro SD card. And here, you're going to find on the other side the keyboard chipset, because it's not a USB stick, it's actually a keyboard. So what happens, of course, if we don't lock the desktop, or in general when we find a pen drive like this somewhere lying on the floor, then what happens, like people take it and they want to plug it in because they want to see with the goodwill what's on it to return it to the owner. Don't do it. Bring it to IT. IT should have prepared a separate computer when you all test this crappy stuff that you're going to find out, including the USB sticks. Let it broke, let it be dirty, whatever. It's separated. You do it over there. So let's do it. So what's the whole point? So the whole point is that I'm going to plug it in. Hopefully it's going to all work out. Light's in green, so it should be good. And what's the whole story behind is that this little keyboard, yes, is going to start typing. So because it's a keyboard chipset, it introduces different types of characters into Windows. My hands are here, by the way, yes, so I'm typing CMD, whatever, yes, and so on. So I've got like a command prompt running. I can do a lot of things. I can download my dirty stuff from the internet. Yes, so there's plenty of things that can happen, and it's really a matter of your invention what is happening over there, yes. So I'm typing things, yes. So I can do anything. Right now, I'm adding actually a recovery password to the encrypted drive. Yeah? So this is one of the ideas, but then choice is yours. By the way, it runs as a regular user because it's a plug-and-play driver, so everybody can run it. And of course, we could be wondering how many things we can do as users. We can do a lot of things. For example, encrypt your data. Yes? For example, copy your data, publish it somewhere on a server. Yeah, so user attack is related with data. Administrative attack is related with access. So these little things. Of course, my hands are still here. Yeah. Okay, I will take it out. This is the case. Now, whenever we are thinking about statistics, and that's what I was showing before, basically, and this is beautiful, when you print a logo here, 90% of people, when they find it on the floor, they're going to take it and they're going to stick it in. Yes? So if the logo is of the company that someone is working on, it's like, oh, pen drive. Oh, I don't want data from my company to leak. Yes, nobody does. Just stick it in. Yes? So this is the case. 60% do it when they find the pen drive, and it doesn't have to have a logo. So statistics are quite scary, especially taking into consideration that I don't know many companies, even huge enterprises, that are actually managing effectively USB ports. I would say, but that's kind of sad, that the best way to do it is to stick a chewing gum into it, yes, and then for sure it will not work out. But I don't think it's an enterprise solution. Anyway, so let's dig in. So we've got a fish biting, yes, so phishing. And this is this case of being aware, yes? So effectively, our guys that we are working with aware of how phishing looks like? And again, simple one, of course, I mean, I will not believe, hey, I'm a princess of Saudi Arabia, I want to give you $1 million, just send me your details for the account. Well, lovely, I'm definitely going to do that. I'm talking more about the more realistic situations that are context related. Because the bad thing or good thing about phishing is that it's losing its context. If I got the email with the UPS package, that's like on the edge. I don't know, maybe my husband wants to send me some nice shoes, who knows, yes? But rather not, yes, so it lacks the context. This is not my bank, so there's no context. But here comes the email that I've got, not this one, the one in a moment, that our customer actually got. And what was really interesting is that that worked out. Have a look. You have received a voicemail. Download an extract and attachment to listen the message. Now, here comes the little story behind. I changed the name to Paula J on the top. The thing is that in one of our customers, they got the ransomware twice. They didn't learn. Yes, they didn't learn on their mistake. So ransomware is, of course, encrypting software that later on asks for ransom in order to get our data back. Now it's a new trend, by the way, of public shaming. So they take a picture of you, and then they say that if you don't pay within the next 2 days, then your picture and your data will be out there in the internet. So that's quite not cool. But imagine, so there was actually a lady, very nice one. Actually, I mean, I like her a lot. Her name is Veronique. And Veronique is a socializing person. She is everywhere on Instagram, Twitter, like everywhere. And she literally clicks on everything that moves because she's like hyperactive. And that's not good because she brought BitLocker to the company twice. So she got this message. This is the original message that we got from our customer, that someone wants to send you the voice message. By the way, in order to listen to it, you need to go to Dropbox. Well, everybody communicates like this. We leave each other messages on the Dropbox, yes? So she was like, oh, someone wants to communicate with me and left me the voice message. Click, yes? And that's how she brought that to the field. Why she did that? Is it really her fault? No, because nobody made her aware that situation like that can happen. Now, this maybe it's not very realistic when we realize that we don't have voice messages on a Dropbox, but that's an email that I've got. I've rented a car in Avis, and basically when I returned it, this was in Alabama. That was very nice stay, and basically I got this little email that, hey, please find attached the requested rental receipt. Do you think it's okay or not? Meh. Why do you think it's not okay? It doesn't have my name. Correct. Yes? Well, if it doesn't smell right, it's not right. That's the SEM security rule. Yes? So here, absolutely, it doesn't have my name. By the way, I'm a pedant. Yes? Everybody who works with me knows that. This is horrible. Yes? I see, from 1 kilometer, I see missing dot at the end of the sentence. So here, there is like too many spaces. Yes? If we have a look closer, yes, here, the P in please is a different font, yes? And it says, please find the attached requested rental receipt. And see, I mean, I didn't request anything, and I'm getting this. What appeared later is that this was actually a piece of malware that someone from Avis was resending. Quite serious case. I was trying to call them and tell them, but oh, so you are not getting the car? No, I want to talk to your IT. We don't have a car like this. So So that was pretty much their reaction, but apparently they solve it by themselves, yes? Okay, so when we've got a dangerous PDF, there's a very nice way to analyze it, and that is actually done by the DDR toolkit. There's a little toolkit, it's called a PDF Parser. And PDF Parser, when I specify, this is a PDF with the vulnerability, exploiting vulnerability. So what is very important is to check if there is a JavaScript in it. Yes, because there is no good PDF with a JavaScript. Why JavaScript? Why someone puts the code that is going to be executing on my computer when I open a PDF? This is not happening. Not to mention the Office macros. That's easy. I don't want to mention this. This is a little bit more difficult. The tool is free. Yes, so PDF Parser, and then I specify the PDF, and then I do search, and then I specify equals JavaScript. And if it finds something that already stinks. So technically, what you can see over here is that these are like names of sections when the JavaScript tags are in. So we are able to say, oh, there's a JavaScript, maybe I should open it somewhere else, and for example, run proc1 tool to analyze if this code is actually doing something on my computer. Yeah, so that's why this dirty IT computer is needed for that kind of openings, yes, like this. So this is not good. So effectively, I analyzed, of course, that PDF, and it appeared that it's not very positive PDF. So this was a phishing email. Now, things like offline access, reckless abandon, so where we leave our devices, we lose them, we leave our laptop somewhere and so on. Don't forget that if the disk is obviously not encrypted, then everybody has access to your data. Like, no doubt. The laptop gets stolen, it's absolutely easy to get access to it. There are many ways, obviously, to do it. Devices should be encrypted. This is not really the wish, yes, it's a standard that it should be happening like this. So there are plenty of ways, of course, how we can proceed with that. In Windows, we've got a built-in, let me take these machines. In Windows, we've got a BitLocker, and BitLocker is a free solution with the Enterprise Edition, which we can use, yes? Offline access means something like this. Yes, I am logged on, and then I've got this little thingy over there, ease of access it's called. It's kind of ironic, because indeed, if I click on it, then I'm the local system, and that's default because of the WinLogon process that runs as a local system, and that's the child process of WinLogon, yes? So we are able to do things like this. And again, hours of discussion, what else can be done within the offline access, so just to mention it. Now, two more things. Hooking up with another Wi-Fi, yes? Of course, whenever we are connecting to someone's router, what is happening, yes? We are on the airport and so on, we are in a hotel. We need to be always careful what kind of stuff we are browsing, and if there is someone listening to us. That's why we are always recommending that for the employees of the company, that should be always, for our sake, the VPN created so that everybody traveling can connect to. It's like, hey, if you want to browse the internet, connect first to our company, and then we're going to serve you content safely, yes? Because you never know. For example, I'm the person that sniffs stuff on the airport, and I'm the person that sniffs stuff in a hotel, and I see what's happening, and definitely that should not be happening. So what's my point to show you? And that's going to be a nicey thing at the end. So we've got this little website. It's called Pens for Dogs, yes? If we get to this place over here, yes, then basically you can see, this is the website. You can check out the pictures by yourself. I will not run the flash that I don't know. So the pictures are quite disgusting because they are like dogs wearing like pants. I mean, with the like polka dots, like, I don't know who invented that. But anyway. So what am I doing underneath? I'm sniffing. So I am being man in the middle. So this is like the administrator of the router of the network that you have connected to, yes? So what I will do over here, I will specify the rules in the tool. So we've got the rules, and then we're going to specify automatic breakpoints before requests. And I want to modify the traffic that you have. So I'm here choosing camouflage extra small for 20 bucks, add to cart. And what happens in this area over here is that I've got this redirection to PayPal web forms. Let me display like this. And I just need to review that traffic that comes over here. So this is like a little thingy that is being sent to PayPal. And as you could see, it was 20 bucks. So how do you think the pants with the polka dots is worth? $1. Let's do it. By the way, this is illegal, and I'm not completing the order. Okay, so don't do it, because I don't want you to get in trouble. So we are accepting different types of communication. We need to do it a couple of times, so that lasts a little bit. Oh, this is the session establishment, very good. So accept, accept, accept. Yes, that traffic will get accepted. That PayPal objects, let's get it accepted. Let's get it accepted. It's a lot, it's a lot. So that's the whole point. So I need to move forward with that traffic. It's a quite boring operation, but be patient. I will just do this. And then PayPal object, no, this one is done. Tunnel 2, we got it. Okay, and let's approve like everything. This is a tunnel to PayPal. We've got this, let's see. Hopefully everything will be okay. Let's move on with this one. Your shopping cart. That's the one that opened. And as you see, it's for $1. Yes? Can you get the cheap polka dot pens? Yes. Yes, you see. That works for, it's real. It's a real website, by the way. That works for plenty of shops, actually. One of the things that happened in Norway is that students ordered pizza like that, because apparently it was too expensive, and they had the case in a court, yes? So that's not cool. But just to show you that, of course, sniffing, it's a normal thing, and modification of the traffic on the fly can happen. Of course, when there is an HTTPS traffic, then we're gonna see the prompt of the wrong certificate, but I will tell you that I'd like to do one little test. This is called certificate spoofing. It comes from the ARP flooding attack. It's a man-in-the-middle attack, and then results are within the certificate spoofing. I like to do the spoofing like this in the IT department. That's my favorite. So during the pen test, we've got this day when we do the spoofing of all the traffic that they generate. So there is this administrator. He connects to switch, yes, using HTTPS session. What does he see? It's a certificate that is not trusted. Why not? Because it's self-generated, self-signed. Nobody manages certificates on the switches, on the routers, or any other network devices, so he's used to see certificate being wrong. Will he check if it's his certificate or mine? No. So this is the fastest way also how to get access to the infrastructure, because this administrator will type in the password to log on to switch, but he never checks what kind of certificate is there because he's used to the view of certificate being not trusted. So this is a little case. Now, a little bit too social. Yes, so we tend to be too social. Hey, I'm going to give you my laptop, so just check out by yourself. Yes, we don't know what is happening. Not to mention the situation that someone may be not as aware as we are, and someone may enter the place, website, and so on, and bring the stuff into our computer that we don't want to, and we are aware of. Yes, so just to mention this little thing, that in general, in our hearts and in our organizational culture, we should be a little bit more suspicious and a little bit more careful about what can happen. So just to summarize, yes, so we've got the summary, why human factor is so important. Sometimes we tend to say that the human factor is the weakest link. You see, I don't like to say this because human is not a technology. So we've got security settings of the servers, GPUs, firewalls, antivirus, execution prevention, and human. Yeah, that just doesn't fit in, yes? We should build our infrastructure in a way so that it's human-proof and comfortable at the same time. Yes, so that human, it's not the weakest link. Yes, because whatever I click, whatever I do, I wasn't behave like someone working, let's say, in accountant department. I mean, this person was never taught to be a security specialist. That's not this person's job. So why do we rely on people like this in IT? We shouldn't. Yes, our infrastructure should be not prone to someone who is not a security specialist. So effectively, still human can be important if we don't have appropriate security measures implemented. And these are 3 reasons. 1, security, or in general, reality, must be like a feeling. If I feel it's okay, I click. But if I feel it's okay, not okay, and I still click, something is wrong. Yes, and that clearly comes from the awareness situation. Now the second, not every attacker is that smart. Well, obviously, if we are receiving emails with the inappropriate English, for example, or losing its context, yes, that clearly looks bad. So not every attacker is that smart, and that kind of saves us a little bit, or at least limits amount of situations that can happen to us. Yeah? So this is the case. Now the next one is, of course, technology is important, but humans as well. Very often we rely on them in the different kinds of operations. A human can always take a camera and take a picture of data that shouldn't leak. Yeah? So these are the situations that we should cope with, and that is this awareness we are talking about. Because awareness should be built on that kind of feeling, and awareness from the IT perspective, that's what IT should take care about, so that humans don't have a problems with recognition if it's a good stuff or bad stuff. If it's good or bad, whatever, if I click on it, it will not run because I'm blocking the code that I don't know. Yes? So that's the whole case. And that time already came, and companies right now are in the phases of implementation of the code execution prevention. So, summarizing hackers' perspective, so why hackers succeed? Because we sometimes take shortcuts, because we sometimes misconfigure things, because we are in a hurry, because we don't know, because we don't care sometimes. So these are the factors that obviously come to place. The worst out of that, I would say that we think we do things right. We've got this in our practice. We think it's a good practice, but effectively we end up with something else. What I would wish to everybody and to every company is that everybody should, in general, introduce some kind of a security awareness into place. Little trainings for internal trainings for users, little quizzes, yes, little meetings, so that we build this feeling and we build this culture within the organization, because we see that for everybody that we help with security awareness, the security rises, and that kind of meetings fantastically affect the morale of the team and also motivation to do a good job, because I care about security, everybody cares about the same thing, so we move forward. So this is my little presentation about what can we do better and what kind of situations we are facing within the infrastructure from the hacker's perspective. Thank you so much.
A couple of questions, or will you be around for lunch?
Yeah, I'll be.
Looking at the time, we possibly got time for 1 or 2 questions. Paula will be around a little bit at the end, but so as we can move on. Has anybody got anything they'd like to ask now? Oh, great, okay. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much. I'm here if you got some questions, yes? So do not hesitate. Thank you.